Good afternoon and welcome to Career Essentials. My name is Ayante Cook and I'll be your instructor for this segment. Normally prior, we talked about how to dress for a job interview. Now we need to know how to get the job interview by applying to the company. So this is where this course comes in, how to complete an application for employment. Alright, now students will be able to complete and fill out a job application to be considered for employment. Why is that important? It lets the company find out information about you, who you are, where you live. They do background checks. There's a lot of things that go on. So if you want employment, if you want to be paid, this is what you have to do. You have to fill it out completely. You have to sign everything, as they say, dot every I, cross every T. Okay, now what is a job application? A completed job application provides the employer with two kinds of information about you. First, it provides answers to questions about your education and work experience. Second, it provides information about your ability to follow directions, work neatly, spell correctly, and provide accurate and complete data. This information is provided by how you fill out the application form. If an employer sees that you can't do that skill, they're going to look at it like, why bother at all? If this person doesn't take the time to fill this out properly, why would I want them on my team? Now, by a show of hands, how many of you have ever filled out a job application? Okay, not very many. This is a high school class, so I'm not surprised by not seeing anyone's hand at this time, but that's why you're here. We need you to have all the necessary skills and knowledge so you'll be able to fill this application out without a problem. Okay, now, why must you fill it out? If you want to be considered for employment, this information must be submitted prior to hiring. Now, how many of you have ever completed a job application before? What I'm going to do now, so at least you'll be able to see one, what I've done is pass them out already on your desk so you can at least follow along with me while I am going through the different segments and boxes on the PowerPoint slide, so you can follow me and we will fill this out together. At the end, it will be a short test. No one panic. It'll be a very short test to see how well you listen, and we'll go from there. All right, now let's start with the basics, okay? All right, can everyone see? Yes? Okay, now, what I'll do is come on this side. Okay, now, applicant information. I want everyone to start at the same point, okay? Now, full name. This can be really tricky sometimes. Sometimes they ask for your first name first. Sometimes they ask for your last name. Sometimes they ask for your middle initial. Sometimes they want your whole name. Sometimes they don't ask at all. You have to pay attention so you'll know, so they won't have to, like, well, this person didn't fill out this portion. So we're going to start by filling out last name first, then the first name, middle initial. Are there any suffixes in your name? If there are, put it on the end here. You need to know that. You have to put the date, whatever date it is that you're filling out this application, you need to put it in there, okay? Very important. Sometimes there's a deadline by which you can have an application in. You need to know what they need to know when you fill that application out. Second of all, we have the street address, okay? Your address. Numerical, that means your apartment number, that means the number of the house, that means the street number, that means the apartment number, okay? The city, state, and zip code. So everybody in here knows where they live, correct? Okay. So they need to know this information to have it on file so they'll know where to send your W-2 forms for tax reasons. Verifying your address sometimes may be needed on a job. Next we have the phone number. Area code first, whatever, the first 3 digits, area code first. And then you put in your phone number, and then your email address. The companies, they need to contact you. They have to contact you in case they want to hire you for the job. So it's very important that information is listed here. We're living in the modern age nowadays, so an email address or even a cell phone number sometimes is what's needed. They want to be able to have all access to you. I mean, you do want to have the good news that I got the job, so that's very important. Now, the dates that you are available to start work. Some want you immediately. Some won't begin that until the next training class. But you need to tell them when you'll be available. I'm not going to lie, there are times that I put immediately because I need a job. I needed to put immediately, I am ready for work. Whenever you call me, I am ready, okay? Now, very important, the Social Security number. All right, everyone in here, who has a Social Security number? Everyone. It used to be that you didn't have one until you applied for them when you were about to go to work. Now you get one as soon as you were born, and everyone in here is young enough to have had one issued to them like the day after you were born. They need this information for Social Security purposes. The more you work, they take Social Security out of your check every pay period. So every time you work, every time you get paid, a little bit of your check goes under your Social Security number. So that is so important. I can't stress how important that is. Now, your desired salary. How much do you want to make? Let's be realistic, people. Of course, we all want to be millionaires, but I really don't think it's going to happen at your first job, okay, unless you're Justin Bieber. Anyway, so desired salary. Some people, depending on what the job is, some people start at minimum wage. Some people start out $1, maybe $2 higher. It just depends. If you're going to be a cashier, it depends on what company you're working for. If you're going to be something that's more of a skilled job, an artisan, something like that, then you might want to start out a little higher. But be sure to know where the salary ranges are for the particular job that you're hiring, that you want to be hired for. Okay? The position that you applied for, very important. They need to know where to put you. They have to know where to put you. What are you applying for with this particular company? Are you hiring manager, cashier, salesperson, engineer, doctor? I mean, they need to know what it is so they can put your name in the correct place. This person wants to be hired for this job, for X job. Okay? Now, this is important. Are you a citizen of the United States? Now, yes, we do have a lot of immigrants in this country who want to work in the United States. They do need to know that you are legally able to work in the United States. That's very important. Can't stress that enough. Usually, your Social Security number will tell them whether or not you're legally able or allowed to work in the United States. But check yes or no. If no, are you authorized to work in the United States? Some people may not be from here, but they have the correct paperwork that allows them to work in our country. Okay? Have you ever worked for this company before? I know you're high school students. Most of you, when I asked you, have you ever had a job, you said no. So, you put no. But sometimes you've had prior experience with a company. Maybe you're returning. Maybe you're coming back. You like working here for like the summer as a summer job. So now you kind of want to change it up a little bit and work with that company. If so, when? They're going to need dates. You got to provide dates. Dates are very important when it comes to a job application. Okay. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? Any felons in this class? Okay, that's good. That's very good. So we're going to check no. Be sure to check no on your application. Question? Okay, the question was, does it hinder you if you have had a felony? That is at the discretion of the company. Some do, some don't. I do believe sometimes it depends on what you've done. I do believe it depends on what job it is that you're applying for. If you were convicted as a bank robber, we really don't want you handling the cash register. I'm just being honest with you people. We don't. So Sometimes it's important, sometimes it isn't. I think it depends on what you've done and what the position you're trying to acquire. Okay, now, and if yes, here they give you information here to explain a line so you can explain what has happened. Alrighty, moving on to education. Okay, education. We're all in high school. I want you guys to put your high school. It's very important to know your high school's address as well, okay? Education. Sometimes you have to be a high school graduate in order to get some jobs. Sometimes you have to be a college graduate. Even if you are, they still need to know where you started. What's your high school? What's the high school address? As long as it's been, I still know mine. Deep Creek High School, 2900 Margaret Booker Drive, Chesapeake, Virginia, 23323. I don't want to know that information, ladies and gentlemen, but I just know it. Okay, college. Which college did you attend? Did you graduate? Did you graduate high school, and did you graduate? Check yes or no. Okay, usually in high school, a diploma is what you're going to put in the degree line. And in college, whatever you studied for those 4 years, that's what it is. Okay, now, sometimes you have a trade school situation. Let's move on. Same thing. Did you graduate? Now, personal references. List the personal references. Any family. Sometimes they don't want you to put family. Friends. Associates. People you've worked with. People in your community. Maybe some social clubs that you're affiliated with. That is pretty much, that's a good start for you to start. Because they also want to know your relationship to that person. You know, is it a family friend? Is it an associate? Someone that you know in your social club. Okay, the company, okay, that person works for, and their phone number, and their address, their full name. You need to know all of this information. Alright, other things that are covered, referral sources. How did you find out about the job? Were you a walk-in? Did you see it in the newspaper? Was it an internet ad while you were cruising around on the internet on your computer at home? Were you walking by and there was a store sign? Did an employee referral service? Sometimes you get there is a fee that comes with that. Was it the company website? You liked the company, you wanted to know whether or not they were hiring, so you went to the company website or other means. Maybe your friend told you. However, they want you to check how you found out about them. Okay, personal inquiries. Have you ever been convicted of a felony? Yes or no? We covered that material. That's good if the answer is no. If not, it's not exactly a killer of your application. Have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor related to theft or misappropriation of funds, bank robbery? Yes or no? And if yes, please explain. Okay. Next, we have permission to work. Are you legally authorized for employment in the United States? It's very important. Yes or no? If not, you need to show your paperwork saying that you're legally able to do so. Next, we have the last part of the application, which is the statement, I certify that the information I provided is true, complete, and correct. I understand that false information or omissions will be sufficient cause for the refusal to employ or for immediate dismissal. Further, I understand that use of this application does not mean that there are positions open and in no way obligates the company to hire me. I understand that if I am employed with this company, it will be as an employee at will, which means the company can terminate the employment relationship at any time, with or without cause, with or without notice. And I authorize the company to contact previous employers or references. I acknowledge that I may be required to submit to alcohol and drug screening. I further acknowledge that failure to submit to a request for alcohol/drug screening shall be cause for my immediate dismissal from employment. This application will be active for 60 days. Here's your signature, and this is the date. It must match what you put at the top. So, basically this is saying that you are consenting for them to check your background. You're consenting to a drug and alcohol test if hired. You understand that the company can hire or fire you at will at their own discretion. By signing this, this is what you agree to. And the Social Security number also, that is for background checks. They want to make sure that you are okay to work for their company, that you're cleared to work for their company. Okay? So, that concludes the PowerPoint presentation of this. What I have here is a test to see whether or not you were listening. Oh, I know. So, what I want you guys to do is to pull out a pen, a pencil, and we can get started on this.